Hi folks, it's another beautiful day in Africa, and we're going to call this segment today Firearms Follies. I don't really know what else to call it, but first I want to thank my beautiful wife Kim for recording this on her cell phone. When we do these videos, I understand well because I remember every step of my learning from the time I was a young teenager at 13 or 14, just learning how to hand load and just getting into center fire guns. I remember my lessons, and I learned thousands of lessons since then. So I have a soft spot in me for the people that helped me along the way and that educated me along the way. And I refuse to be a hypocrite by not doing the same for others. We're all at different learning phases about all different things in life, and guns and ammunition and internal ballistics and external ballistics and terminal ballistics are more complex than most shooters realize. So I never want to get after people for asking dumb questions, because there are no dumb questions if you don't know the answer. And so we try to make these videos for beginners as well as so-called experts. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. So sometimes we cover ground that might be really valuable to somebody, but it's not to you. Well, this is Firearms Follies, and I'm only going to comment on the things that have happened where customers were rude, because when they're not rude, they're perfectly sane questions and questions that need answers. But when they're just being buttheads, some of this is hilarious. So, we sell ammunition directly to the public on the internet, and that's where all of this comes from. We also sell to distributors and dealer direct accounts, but we do sell direct to the public. So we get some funny shit. I mean, some of this stuff is unbelievable.
Including California.
Oh yeah. We never did quit selling to California folks. Even when California said it was illegal for their customers to buy online from other states, which got overturned by the California Supreme Court. But for years and years and years, while it was illegal for you folks in California to order, we just kept, if you ordered, we shipped it. It wasn't illegal for us to ship you the ammo. It was illegal for you to order it and receive it, actually just to receive it. And, I'm not going to go around enforcing California or any other state's anti-gun laws. They want to enforce that stuff. They got to figure out a way to do it, or don't make the stupid, illegal, unconstitutional law in the first place. So anyway, back to Firearms Follies. And I'm just going to tell you a few of the really funny things that have happened selling ammo directly to the public. So we have some plus P 45 Colt loads. We have several of them. Our most popular one is our item 3A, and it's a 325 grain flat nose hard cast gas check bullet doing 1,325 feet a second out of 5 to 6 inch barrels. It's a handful. Well, I purposely chose a bullet with a long nose so that these things wouldn't fit into single action army or clones thereof, or so that they wouldn't fit like the new small frame Rugers. And by the way, if you ever get a question about if you have a small frame Ruger or one of the older large frames that were made on the Blackhawk frames, Ruger put the name Blackhawk on both sizes, so that's very confusing. You can go to the Buffalo Bore website. We have an entire article about it that tells you what dimensions your cylinder should be if you have the large frame versus the small frame. Back to the story. So this guy, and I don't remember who he was young. You could tell he was young by just how stupid he was. And again, I'm not going to call people stupid when they're polite and they're honestly seeking, but this guy just had a lot to learn about life. I get this email just scolding me that I don't know how to make ammo because our 325 grain hard cast 45 Colt load was too long for his cylinder. And so he goes on for paragraphs schooling me about, if it's too long for your cylinder, it sticks out past the end of your cylinder and you can't rotate your cylinder, so you can't cock your gun and use it because the bullet hits the back of the barrel. But this guy was clever. He took a hammer. Since we don't know how to make ammo, we made it too long on purpose so it wouldn't fit in those cylinders it shouldn't go in. And he takes a hammer and he beats on the nose of the bullet. And I don't know how he did it without wrecking the brass or wrinkling the brass, but he beats the bullet deeper into the case. And he sends me pictures. This guy is smart. And he goes, I fixed your ammo. Now it fits in my gun. And he shows me now it's not protruding past the cylinder face when he chambers it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I very quickly sent him an email back. Don't shoot that stuff. You're going to destroy your gun. He had a new model, small frame Ruger. And, that stuff it probably won't blow the gun up. It's going to be darn close. It'll stretch frames. It'll cause all kinds of problems. And what I didn't see is further down in the emails or further up in the emails, this guy had already gone out and shot it and it destroyed his gun. So I'm sending him this email. Don't shoot that stuff. What are you doing? It's made the way it's made on purpose. We don't want it to fit in your gun. And he was so rude about it. That's the part that makes it funny. So anyway, I sent him this email. Don't shoot it. And before I could even finish with it, I scrolled through my emails and there was an email up at top. He had ruined his gun and he was going to sue. He said, first, you can't make the ammo right. It wouldn't even fit my gun. So I made it fit my gun and then it destroyed my gun. You guys are a train wreck. Now, we get stuff like this all the time when it comes to people shooting loads with lead-fouled barrels and causing problems. I try to explain to them what they've done. Somehow it's bad customer service if I tell them something they don't know or something they don't want to hear. We get it a lot now with match-grade barrels, too. Oh, the pressures of this ammo were too high. Well, yeah, that's because you're shooting it in a minimum spec chamber. That's not what it was designed for. Those barrels are for shooting matches. They're not for carry guns. So anyway,
the truth hurts.
I don't, when people are polite, man, I'll bend over backwards to explain to them what they did wrong. But if they're from this current last couple generations where they got participation trophies when their sixth grade grade school team lost the basketball game, so they get a trophy anyway, they've never learned you lose the game, you don't get the trophy. So they're entitled and they're always right. And they'll tell you so. And no matter what you tell them, unless it's what they want to hear, it's not right. So this guy's going on and on about how he's going to sue us and we owe him a new gun and now he's got PTSD and he's going to file a claim because his brain is damaged and now he's afraid to ever shoot a gun again, on and on and on. So my IT guy, our full-time IT guy, Wayne, finds this guy on Facebook and there he is on Facebook with his Ruger, fanning the hammer, trying to shoot stuff. Of course, not hitting anything, but he's, spraying bullets. And then it shows him doing target practice and he takes aim with the gun and he's got this cardboard box sitting out there. And of course, he doesn't know how to shoot. He's a new shooter, which we want to cultivate new shooters. We really do. I mean, that's the future of America as far as I'm concerned. He takes aim and he yanks the triggers. He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, his shots are falling 15, 20 feet in front of the box because he's flinching. And so he's doing all the, he obviously doesn't know anything about what he's doing and he really needed somebody to help him. But his attitude was so bad and so accusatory that I don't know anybody could stand to be in his presence. So I send him the video off his fake Facebook page and tell him basically, until you learn to actually interact with humans with some kind of communicative skills, and until you learn what guns are all about and how to operate them, you're hopeless. So just want you to know, that ammo was made short on purpose, so people that don't know what they're doing don't put it in the wrong gun. So now we're going to go to a different story. And again, I'm only telling these stories because the people were rude. So this guy contacts me very much the same as the last story I told you. And he goes, my 454 is right. I know it's right. So don't try to blame this on the gun. But it's supposed to chamber your 475 line bar ammo, and it won't. You guys just don't know how to make ammo. And I'm scratching my head going, what? What's he talking about? I have no idea. So I emailed the guy back. I said, 475 line bar is never supposed to chamber in a 454. And if you can get it to chamber, if you can get your 454 to chamber 475 line bar, please write me back and tell me how you did it. I mean, that's really some kind of trick. So he writes me another snotty message, quit being an asshole, blah, 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 blah. He goes, everybody knows 475 line bar chambers in a 454. And I'm going, well, not everybody knows it because I didn't know it.
Have a good day.
And so anyway, I decide to carry on the conversation, even though the guy's being a butthead. It's kind of amusing, and I used to have a lot more spare time than I do now. These things happened many years ago. Now I'm inundated with emails and stuff, and I don't want to change who I am by being a computer jockey. I want to be out in the woods hunting, shooting, fishing, hiking, doing the things that made me what I am, and working on ammo designs and those things rather than sitting in front of a computer. So I have to be careful about how I spend my time. Anyway, what it boiled down to was the guy had somehow conflated 475 line bar into 45 Colt, and he thought he ordered 45 Colt ammo and he ordered 475 line bar ammo, and it wouldn't fit in his 454, which 45 Colt ammo will fit in your 454. It's like shooting 38 specials out of a 357 or 44 specials out of a 44 Magnum. And so, I actually tried to repair that guy. Anyway, we got it sorted out. But in the meantime, I was the dummy that doesn't know how to make ammo. And I still get that on a daily basis because the digital world we live in has not allowed people to develop communicative skills or, social interacting skills.
Or respect.
Yeah. And with those things, respect is a big part of how we interact and communicate. And, a lot of our current generation was raised on an iPhone and raised tapping keys, punching keys and watching videos instead of actually talking to real people. And so, and when you're my age, you can really see it. And it's actually kind of sad. So here's another one with our item 3A, 45 Colt, 325 grains, almost as bad as the first story I told you. I get this email from this guy. You don't know how to make ammo. How can you even be an ammo manufacturer? I bought these 45 Colt bullets. They're cartridges. They're not bullets. I bought these 45 Colt bullets, and they won't fit in my gun. Now, I'm trying to remember what he had. I think it was a Colt single action army or maybe a clone of one. He goes, they're too long. And then he goes into this big lecture about how now his cylinder won't rotate because the bullets stick out past the face of the cylinder, all this other stuff like the last guy told me. He goes, but because I'm a thoughtful guy, he goes, I fixed your ammo. And I'm going, uh-oh. He didn't take a hammer and beat the bullet deeper into the case. He took it to his grinding wheel. And he just ground off, 50 thousandths or whatever it was off the nose of the bullet. He goes, now it fits. See, I know more about making ammo than you do. And he's just going on and just being very insulting and denigrating to me. And of course, he blew his gun to pieces on that one. And I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a clone of a single action army, one of the cheaper clones, that isn't super strong, And anyway, so I had to educate him too. And if you ever go to our website to order ammunition, we've got disclaimers all over that says there's more than one kind of 45, and there is. There's 45 Colt, there's 45 Win Mag, there's 45 ACP, there's 45 Super, there's 460 Roland, which at least doesn't say 45 in the name, 45 Gap, 45, there's just 45 everything. And so I put right on there, be sure of the cartridge that your gun is actually chambered for and rated for, because we can't return ammunition. And people then will continually order the wrong ammunition. There's more than one kind of 32. They're not interchangeable. A few of them are. There's more than one kind of 38, like 38 Super, 38 Special, 38 Smith & Wesson. And that's probably the biggest one right there. We get people ordering, they want 38 Special, but they order 38 Smith & Wesson. It won't chamber. And then I, of course, get the emails about how shitty our ammo is and what a doofus I am and how I should know better.
And how you should take back the returned ammo.
Well, and thank you. I'm glad you got me back on that topic. Ammunition is not tamper-proof. There is no ammunition that is tamper-proof. And it's very much like a pharmaceutical. It's very sensitive. If you were able to order pharmaceuticals via mail or via UPS, and you got the wrong pharmaceutical, you can't send it back. They can't resell it. It's too dangerous. You could have tampered with it. You could have switched it. Well, ammo is the very same thing. Ammunition is not T-shirts or bikinis or something that, people send back all the time because they ordered the wrong size or they got it and didn't like the color or whatever. Ammunition is dangerous stuff. And so then people get really mad at me, and I'll email them back, or my webmaster will email them back and go, sorry, we can't do exchanges. It's not safe. And we'll even email them that on Sundays, on holidays, after hours, because I sneak my emails in when I can. And they'll go, well, that's really poor customer service. And I'm like, shit, dude, I just emailed you twice on President's Day. What do you mean that's poor customer service? Is your definition of good customer service based on if somebody tells you what you want to hear?
I want to talk to your boss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a funny one. I'm really glad Kim is here right now. Then they go, who's your boss? And I just write back, God. That's not funny. I want to know your supervisor directly above you. And I write back, God. And then if I get it a third time, I'll go, well, God and probably my wife. And people are just hilarious. Folks, let's all love each other. Let's try to be patient and kind with each other. And if somebody gives you an answer that wasn't what you were expecting, cool your jets. You're not going to get a participation trophy. And see if maybe there's room for an expert in his field with ammo that he designed, ammo that he manufactured, ammo that he shipped. Maybe he might know something about his own product that you don't, since he does millions of rounds a year. Seriously? So anyway, we had a guy that was trying to shoot 38 Super in his 38 Special. That wasn't working out too well. 38 Super's kind of got a small rim. There's nothing for it to hang up on the back of the cylinder. And we've had guys try to shoot 380 auto in 38s. We've had guys, I think the worst one is 32 ACP in 32 long, Smith & Wesson long. I've seen a bunch of that. And these are just things that happen with people that don't know better. And we are absolutely, I am personally dedicated to help people get started in the shooting sports. I especially like working with young kids, especially young girls, because women, whether y'all watching this or not know this, they are the big wave in the future of shooting in America. Not that many women as a percentage shoot compared to men. And there's more women than men. And so we really need to get youngsters started, and a newbie, whether they're a newbie at age 60 or whether they're a newbie at age 13, they deserve our help. I mean, I made every mistake you can make. I've blown guns up. Some of those I did on purpose. And it's been a long learning curve. And there were people along the way to give me new ideas or tell me something I didn't know. One of those is Brian Pierce. I've probably gotten more loading or history information from Brian Pierce as it would pertain to, 3220s, 45 Colts, older cartridges than anybody. And it's been very helpful in my ammunition designs for those cartridges. Another guy that for no reason at all offered help with a couple of problems I had was Ross Seafried. And that I'm going back 30 years on some of this stuff. There have been mentors and helpers that gave me several aha moments. And like I said, I started hand loading ammo, I think at age 13, under the supervision of my father, who, bless the poor guy. I probably wore him out. But anyway, folks, those are just a few of the follies of dealing with the public with firearms. And we are actually grateful for the shooting public. We're not as grateful for the people that won't listen to advice or want to get rude about it. That's part of our current society that is really dysfunctional, and it's a product of our digital age. And if you don't think so, I wish you were 67. You'd see it very, very clearly. Please do Kim and I a favor and subscribe so that you'll get email notices every time we post a new video. It'll show up in your email. You can go watch it. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Doesn't commit you to anything. Again, folks, just want to say God bless and thanks for tuning in, and hope some of this was entertaining or educational. We'll see you on the next video.